I'm going to give you a little bit of a brief history, and I will make it, this will be less than 5 minutes, but it's been 22 years, so you guys will bear with me. Just kidding. From 1996 to 2002, GDS's program was based out of WEDCO, Women's Housing Economic Development Corporation in the South Bronx. We ran our summer and after school programs there. At some point we looked around and we said, if we're really going to help youth, we got to be rooted in the community. And we looked for a space. We wanted to actually build our home in the Heights. And what we did was, in 2002, we started searching for a space, and we knew that the Washington Heights was an empowerment zone that needed the kind of service that we provide. The Department of Homeless Services, as the owner of the New York City Fort Washington Armory, recognized that GDS could provide essential services and entered into a license agreement with them in June of 2002. This agreement allowed us to use the raw space, the built-out space. This is what it looked like before we built it out, under the condition that we paid for the construction and that we raised private funds to build it out on our own.
Which floor?
This is the second floor. We're on the second floor, 1,200 square feet. Part of the agreement was that GDS would pay a fee to the Armory Foundation, also a licensee in the building, to provide security and janitorial services. From the beginning, I always thought that the Armory Foundation was my landlord. Later, I learned I was wrong. In 2002, thank you, Lee. Back to the other one. So that's what the space looks like now after it's built out. That's our teen room. That has we have 15, 20 people in there. We couldn't really do yoga in there, so that was kind of tight. But in 2002, as we moved in, the Manhattan Times featured Camp Excel. We had a camp in the beginning, and we helped teens reach their potential. So that was in there. Due to our success, we received the Counseling Award from the Washington Heights Inward Youth Service Providers Collective, which was a collection of youth agencies for the most needed counseling services for youth and our families in our community. We were doing pretty well, and then we had some big problems coming. At the same time, what happened was that the Armory Foundation was trying to evict us from our space. In 2011, to combat this, I created the community advocacy program called CAP, which is Advocacy for Heights on Facebook. We created this program for the continuation, the utilization, and the creation of most needed community programs. On December 15, 2011, for the first time, I came to Community Board 12, and I stood in Community Board 12, and I actually tipped my hat, and I let people know that we were here. We had a small program, and we really didn't have, we would always take the same kids, but now we were threatened to be evicted, and I wanted people to know, hey, we're here, and this is important. I wasn't just going to back down. Subsequently, the Armory Foundation eviction order was rescinded. So I'm thankful to Community Board 12 for having that forum, because I know what happened there. Since that time, we lived under the threat of eviction, still providing all the services at our own expense, all free to the community. Could you imagine what it's like trying to have consistency and structure for challenged teenagers and families, and walking into your building or walking into your office and not knowing if you were going to be evicted, not knowing if the next day they were going to come and lock the heat so you couldn't get in there? Could you imagine that? That's what I lived with. That's what we lived with from 2011 to right now, which is 7 years later. It was tough. Many told me to just walk away. They said, just forget it. You'll never win this battle. Never. But when you look at someone like Lanish and you see what happens, you can't walk away from that, and I wouldn't. So what I did was I kept fighting, okay? Because you need to stand up for what's right, and I had the ability to do that. DHS was not really helping. Many CB12 members were not helping us. In fact, they were actually impeding us. They wouldn't even post our flyers for events. They wouldn't even come and visit GDS when they did the Armory. The CB12 members promised to help me, but then they never did. I didn't understand. Starting in March of 2012, the Armory Foundation, we had a great partnership going. The Children's Aid Society Domestic Violence Program was across the hall where New Heights is, and we had a partnership with the Domestic Violence Program. The Armory Foundation and Dr. Sander asked them to leave our space. They evicted them from our space. They had one office in our 1,200 square feet. I thought the Armory Foundation was our landlord, so I listened, and they just moved from my office right across the hall. Starting in January 2013, it started to get worse again. This time, they started to engage in behaviors to try to force us out even more. And they hit me really, really, really hard. They went after my dog, which is a therapy dog. That's Ohade, okay? Ohade means love, and when you try to kick out love, you have not, things can get really worse. And I started to actually get really, really upset. In April after 6 months after me fighting, we got Ohade back in to continue his work with the youth, because the kids really missed him. He's amazing. He actually started this whole battle in a way. So in April, the Armory Foundation threatened to evict us again. This time, the advisory council member, one of our attorneys, contacted DHS, our true landlord. DHS, after speaking with our legal representative, demanded that the Armory Foundation stop the eviction order and inform them that they do not have the authority to do so. DHS would not take any position in the overcharging that GDS claimed that the Armory Foundation was doing. In 2015, after 2 years of me trying to get legal assistance, I secured a pro bono legal services via the Urban Justice Center with DHS. I had a meeting with DHS, the Armory Foundation, and the mayor's office. I was silent for a couple of years, and people may wonder why haven't I spoken up since then? Well, DHS is my landlord, okay? So I could be evicted in 10 days just like everyone else. So I really appreciated DHS when they finally sat down with us at the table. We had the mayor's office there, the community affairs unit, we had the Armory Foundation, we had my legal counsel from Chadbourne and Park, and the DHS determined that the Armory Foundation overcharged GDS, a microcosm of other things. But this is now illegal. This is our lawyers were there. It wasn't a courtroom, but it was with DHS, 5 people from DHS, the Armory Foundation chair, Dr. Sander, me and my 2 lawyers, and they said that they need to stop maltreating our agency, and they said that the amazing thing that happened of all of that was that the mayor's office from the community affairs unit, Alize Beal, was there, and she was told that from now on, this building is going to be open to the community at large. And she was pinpointed as the person from the mayor's office to open up the building. And not only did I win my space after not being evicted anymore, now I had my dream, a Heights Community Center, bring it back, give it back. So I was really happy, but that didn't last too long. I requested help from CB12 members on numerous occasions. Richard Lewis said he would help, he did not. George Fernandez in 2015, and Shah Ali in January of 2016. I would like to just, I'm not going to go into all these details because they've been covered, but I'd like to hand you this email, which is an email where I asked George Fernandez after meeting with him if I could send the minutes from our meeting, which outlined all of the issues. I then asked if I could take that and forward it to Shah Ali, and he said yes. I met with Shah on January 6th, and he promised me that he would deal with this, and he did not. I've had many community board 12 members that have defriended me on Facebook, so like Liz Ritter, because I was speaking up on this. We know Betty Lamon, she's awesome, but she was overcharged $15,000. There's been silence everywhere. And I do appreciate CB12 overall, but this is really, enough is enough. In closing, I'd like to say that my vision has always been to create the Heights Community Center, a safe haven for youth and adults to have recreational, therapeutic, educational, and arts programs. It's a place that we all could be working with together. I hope that we can find a way to work together to actually do that, because this has been a very long time. I think that we should reclaim the New York City Fort Washington Armory. I want to thank all of you for giving me time to speak. It's been a long haul, and I really appreciate you listening. Right now in our community, right now in our world, right now in our society, we need moral leadership. We need people not to turn a blind eye to what we need. And we need people to speak up and say, I imagine you all got into this board because you want to advocate for what's right. I don't even know what politics means anymore, but there's a lot of politics going on here. And all I want to say is that I know what I want my legacy to be. I want to stand up for marginalized youth. I want to be able to say that no matter what I did, that I tried to help level the playing field. You all have the same chance. The Fort Washington Armory should be the Heights Community Center, arts, education, and wellness, free for all. It will be here for generations to come. That's how it should be. We should reclaim it and take it back. Take back what was rightfully ours. I can imagine that you all want that, and I hope that you can figure out a way that we can bring this back to what it was meant to be. Because people that can't speak up, they don't have a voice. We are their voice. They don't even know. You can't advocate for something that you don't know about. I don't know if you like Porsches or cars, but imagine if you had a Porsche in your garage, and it was there the whole time, but you didn't know it. So people turn around and say, oh, what are we going to do? No one's showing up. No one's showing up because nobody knows. I'm hoping that you can review the information presented by Mr. Zablocki and Angelo, and create a task force, not a committee, a task force, to reclaim this building with all the stakeholders. I volunteer to help in any way that I can. It's time for things to change for the better for the Heights and Inwood and Upper Manhattan, New York City. In that spirit, all I ever wanted to do was collaborate. All I ever wanted to do was give the kids college prep. All I ever wanted to do was give the kids meditation and yoga. All I ever wanted to do was have a safe place for the kids to go. That's all I ever wanted. That's what it should be. I didn't want anything more than that. We can do this, and I really appreciate your time, and I'm very grateful. We have, I'm going to invite all you guys in the spirit of collaboration. We have an event on December 16th and Sunday. You can meet some of the teens. It's at Riverstone. It's a free event. And just to show you that we're all, we're going to give you guys a little present before you leave, which is a band that has our website on it. So we'll give you guys this. It says Excel GDS, and it says Reach Your Potential. That's our mantra, as we see right there. That's the flyer. We have one in Spanish and English, which are right there. And I just want to end with a quote, and I want to say that unity is strength. Where there is teamwork and collaboration, wonderful things can be achieved. We can do that. That is Maddie's Kaepernick. Was that the quote, Chris? So I appreciate your time, and thank you very much for giving us a platform.